We are back. Mr. Gibson, I realize, again, this is very preliminary, I realize, but what would be the intentions relative to the ownership and maintenance of the common areas?
That would be on us. So we would be taking care of all common areas. The way that the payment structures, lease structures would work is, they would be responsible for their utilities, and then we would be handling all common grounds, the site, all of that.
Okay,
And
so
like
it's-
trash pickup would be included in their rent.
It's like any apartment complex would be. then,
Yeah,
in terms of
exactly.
that. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Other questions for Mr. Gibson? Chad? No? Mrs. Weatherby?
These are all rental units.
They are, and I've had some feedback from a number of different stakeholders in the community asking about possibly having a portion of these be for home ownership. We're looking at that. I think for this area, it's a bit of a challenge. If we had a whole if we had the whole parcel, all 16 acres, I think that would be easier to contemplate if you can have full control of how everything is ideated and laid out there. I think given how this is going to be broken up into portions, hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years, they build a new facility out at the new hospital site that can service the doctors and do what's currently taking place at the Hickman site. But for right now, we're kind of just design constrained. So I think what we're looking to do is keep this all for rent and then look at some other possibilities to do some pocket infill where I have some comparables that are more commensurate with what things cost. So like I just can't get my comps probably where they need to be to offset the cost of the construction and still make the math work. So we're looking to do a for rent product out here, stabilize that, make sure the absorption, the market can support the absorption for these 50 to 53 units. And then we're already kind of looking at some other sites where we could do some build for rent in closer to downtown where you've got walkable amenities and things like that, or closer to the university. So we're looking at those and exploring those options, but that I'd be looking for an acre or two to do a higher density pocket community for sale somewhere closer to downtown, I think would make more financial sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, but this would help us proof the market, if you will, for this type of product, make sure the demand is there. And yeah.
Any other questions or comments for Mr. Gibson? This is our opportunity. In fact, the intent of this meeting is to provide him with some feedback from the commission in terms of general agreement with the concept. Again, not being slight on the details at the moment, but again, this is a conceptual.
Yes, sir. And again, we've tried to be really mindful of just really digging into the site limitations, all the easements and all those different things, and they're vast. So this is currently where it resides. It may evolve a little bit between now and whenever we submit, but currently we like how this is laid out it makes sense to create the community that we're looking to do out there, as well as do it in a way that maximizes the current, infrastructure that's there. These are just some layouts that we wanted to share with you, just to give you an idea of how some of these units would work. So we are sizing these smaller. I think my business partner shared that with the council. couple months ago, but we wanted to give individuals an idea of, I think most people are used to like 2-bedroom apartments being 1,200, 1,400 square feet. Most people aren't building that anymore. At $225 to $250 a square foot, the math doesn't work. I would say you're comparable for like a 2-bedroom apartment in Adrian is somewhere in that $1,200 range. It's what we're seeing with other, property owners. And so in order to make that $1,300, number, $1,400, $1,200 number work, you've got to right size it down. So it's all about being thoughtful in how you lay out your spaces. You don't have wasted corridors for hallways that just waste space and don't provide any value in the form of a bedroom or storage or kitchen, bathroom space, what have you. So you'll see very little corridor hallway spaces in these units, and that's by design. And it's so that you've got all the value goes to, all the space goes to where it would be valuable, which is the living space, the bathroom, bedrooms, what have you. So we've been able to get rid of that wasteful space, if you will, and just focus on what people are looking for. And then the finishes will be high quality. And we're also going to be incorporating quite a lot of windows to bring in light, and then even have we've got a couple designs that will have some flexible door systems so that they will be able to open up to the courtyard, so that you'll be able to have more of an open, living experience for those beautiful Michigan summers and whatnot. So probably not so much in December, but
March,
in
yeah.
June, July, August, September,
Yeah.
there you go. Right. So,
Yeah.
but it really comes down to people, in a lot of the urban markets I've done projects in, we're doing 1-bedroom apartments that are 500 square feet and everyone's fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I'm not proposing that we're not doing that here. I'm just saying that there's no problem as long as things are intelligently designed and there's opportunities for storage and things like that, either on-site or off-site. Most people they don't want to pay for space they're not using.
I'm sure there's a market for that too.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's how things are moving.
That's one of the things we've heard.
Yep.
Is that there's a market for this very kind of housing.
What's your approximate square footage range?
So I think when it finally lands, it's going to be plus or minus 850 to 900 for a 2-bedroom. We've got some models that are smaller than that. We've got some versions that are bigger. It's going to come down to our final, whenever we start to, bid things out and look at what things are going to cost. We have to work backwards off what we can prove revenue wise, but I think it's going to land in that space.
Are the exteriors gonna be different between the other, like
It won't look like a vinyl
example.
jungle.
No,
Yeah.
but like the example that you mentioned, I did look, so there's
Yeah.
a lot of different exteriors, different sizes.
We're going to do some
to kinda give
variation
the
for sure.
Neighborhood feel, so it's not just all.
Yep. The idea is to give, you'll have a design language that complements itself. So it's not going to be like, something that looks like it was made in the 80s and something that was designed in the 20s. There'll be some design language that complements each other, but
Sure.
there'll be variation just so it doesn't look like you're looking at the same vanilla box, Not that there's anything wrong with that, because that has its market and it serves its purpose, but we're trying to bring some neat elevations and design into this to make it
Just so it
appealing.
kind of fits into the neighborhood feel, like the.
Right.
Get on Budlong Street and they're all different. shapes and sizes and
It's going to have,
Colors and windows and.
what we're looking to incorporate, I mean, there's a lot of mid-century over there, right? I
Mhm.
was just over there again today, and that's one of my favorite design languages. So it will have some of that mid-century architecture design, probably a blend between that and some variation of a modern farmhouse concept with the bigger open glass and black windows and things like that. But it'll be a combination of those two design languages is what we're working on.
I think I could probably speak for the commission to say that in concept, this is a favorable project. And would look forward to seeing the details.
We are working on them.
Yeah.
They are forthcoming.
Yes.
When are you thinking of starting deconstruction on the?
Great question. So one of the things I think it's important to note is we're doing the deconstruction and the pre-development in parallel. And the city's been wonderful to support us in this endeavor because we didn't want to do it sequentially, just drags out the project, right? So we are doing the design whilst we're also readying the site for demolition. So the plan is that we will start the hard demolition of the hospital around July 15th. That's what we currently have penciled in. And so we're working backwards from there. We're going to be doing some reclamation and some different things and preparing the site for demolition. But that's when we'll start, making things happen is July 15th. And we believe that we can have it done in 8 to 12 weeks, depending on a few factors.
Then you'll continue the facade of the building that's gonna stay. So when you pull off the rest of the hospital, the rest of the separation will be infilled with.
Are you, so the only
the cancer
buildings,
center?
yeah, that's already been separated.
Okay,
Yeah, they were connected originally, correct, right? So that separation, there was a hallway or whatnot, that's already been removed. And then we've gone through and we've modified we've had a lot split and created a new legal description. So they're already severed. We will keep probably 2 buildings, and they're the 2 of those back metal barn buildings in the back, just to serve as for equipment and other site things, what have you, lawnmowers and whatnot. But everything else is coming down.
Commissioners, if there's nothing else, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
And
Thank you
look
very much.
forward
Thank
to,
you.
look forward to progress on this.
Well, as do we. And if you have any questions or thoughts after the fact, I'm very easy to get a hold of via email or phone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there other business before us this evening? Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to address the planning commission? Sir, should give us your name and address and tell us what you'd like to say.
Well, good evening, Commissioner Jacobitz. My name's Tim Olshouse. I live at 175 Canterbury Street. I'm not here to address your actions or your agenda this evening, and I guess I'm a few days or a couple weeks late. I'm here to address some disappointment and concern over the Adrian College Dome athletic facility that you approved at your last meeting. And I had a very nice chat with Jeremy this afternoon, so I appreciate his information. Renfrew, Canterbury, Stratford. This building is where we live. The information I was given, 90 feet tall. I Googled that. That's 9 stories high. 9 stories high. And I believe, Chairman, you made a comment in the newspaper article, you can't hide that with bushes.
No, you can't. No.
The comment was just made about this development. Does it fit the neighborhood? You addressed many concerns about vinyl siding, and is it going to fit? I didn't see your minutes from this past meeting, but does this fit? Nobody at Adrian College has got to look at this. We as neighbors got to look at this. I looked at your site plan, and as Jeremy told me today, you have no height restrictions in your ordinances for educational setup. That's a vast oversight. How did that go this long? That the city and other projects didn't know this. With all the development that the college has done, as I left this city building today, I picked up a document for a fence. You've got a page about fences, 6 feet tall in my neighborhood, 4 feet tall in my front yard. I built a garage a number of years ago. I had to stay within 20 feet. It's 19'6", but yet we're going to have a 135,000 square foot building. Were the number of questions asked about this development asked at your meeting last week? It was 18 minutes long, your meeting. You spent more time talking about this development. Property values. What is this gonna, the sunset in my neighborhood is gone. What's my property value gonna be? What are my neighbors? We already have Adrian College football, baseball, softball diamonds, massive lights, light pollution in our neighborhood. I can hear the announcer every Saturday, there's a home game. So now we as neighbors have, this thing is going to cover 2 football fields. I understand you follow the guidelines that are given by the city and the ordinances and what's required. Was there a public hearing about this? There was?
No, at the last meeting.
Well, last meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
I think in this regard, and I understand the city can't be a town crier and inform us all, and there's responsibilities as a citizen to be informed. This is a major project. I just don't understand why there wasn't some, if it weren't for that new, monthly newspaper that came out that talked about this year, the commission approved it. I never would have known about it. I talked to a neighbor who it's going to be in his backyard. I said, do you know about this? He goes, no. It's going to be within 50 feet of his backyard. He didn't know about it. So I guess, I mean, I know you can't address all these concerns, but this is a major, major thing that's being, I say, dumped in our neighborhood. And it's not going away, and it's not pretty. I've Googled this company's, I mean, it is a dome. I mean, okay, it's white, but I gotta look at that thing every time I come in and out of my neighborhood. 90 feet tall. I'm just so disappointed in this action. And I know it can't be reversed, but it seems like this college always gets their way. Always. I understand they do good things for the city of Adrian. They bring in people, they bring in tourists, they bring in this. Put the thing out in the industrial park. Don't they own property out there? Why dump it in a neighborhood? And I'll close with your site development. Per your north, south, west, and east. North of this facility, this dome, multiple family residential. South is educational. West, 2 family residential. To the east, R3, single family residential. Where does a dome that's 135,000 square feet fit in those 3 residential neighborhoods? I know I'm 3 weeks late. I wish I would have known about this sooner, but I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.
My name is Tim Bakewell. I live at 1501 Canterbury here in Adrian, and I'm the guy that this thing's going to be 50 feet from my backyard. First of all, I'd like to know, how do you find out when these meetings take place? Where is it? It's not in the telegram.
It's on the city's website.
Oh, so you have to be IT. Oh, well, I'm from a little different generation than you fellas.
It's also, well, I doubt that, but it's also, the meetings, notices given in the newspaper, in the classified ads.
Okay. Yeah. So I've lived in my house for 37 years. I've seen what's happened in our neighborhood since Adrian College has expanded. We were the halfway point between the Eclipse Bar and the campus. My yard was the bathroom for the people walking. The speeders, you don't want to step out in my road when softball practice is over or baseball practice is over. It's dangerous. Kids, they're all on their phones. I don't care what the new law says. They're all on their phones and they're going like a bat out of hell to get back to campus. Now, this thing is a total surprise to me. You know, the last time I was in this building at a meeting like this, we got a notification in the mail about them building their maintenance building. And it's tucked around the corner. It's no problem. The reason I came to that meeting was I was concerned about their vehicular traffic going down the road. And I was assured that, oh, we built a road for them to use back through that property behind. Guess what? They don't use that road. It all goes down Canterbury. And I understand it probably saves time. I haven't complained about that. You know, we deal with the speeders, the drunks. It's getting a little tiring. Now, they build this monstrosity in my backyard. What's it going to do to my property value? And is Adrian College going to ante up to make it better for me? You know, I've never been late on my taxes. I pay my taxes every year. How much tax does Adrian College pay? They're tax exempt, correct? They're going to put that building up and not pay a dime. Not a dime. You know, during the summer, we have the Cavaliers in my backyard. At the end of the summer, when they're actually playing music, it's okay. But you know what those guys do for 12 hours a day? Just short bars of music over and over and over. You can't go outside. It's maddening. Again, I just wish I'd have known about this, so I would have had some input, and I understand your hands are probably tied, but I just want you to know, if our whole neighborhood would have known, there'd be a lot more people here tonight, or there would have been a lot more 3 weeks ago. But the notification, it's pathetic. You know, I've lived in Adrian my whole life. It's just rude. You know, Adrian College gets whatever they want. The first road projects that were done last year, all around Adrian College. I bet you I could take you to the east side and show you where some roads are in worse shape than what those roads were in. But Adrian College gets beautified. The rest of the city takes a back seat. It's not fair. It's not fair. And by golly, I know I've lived here 70 years. I probably know more people in this town than any of you, and I will remember this come election time. Believe me.
Okay, here's one question. Is there any, I mean, I don't know, I know you don't have to answer questions, but is there any below grade surface, any of the infrastructure, the sewer lines, water lines? I mean, this thing is 2 football fields. All the rainwater now that falls on that natural grass, it's absorbed. Back in 2004, our neighborhood flooded. If you remember once in a generation, 5 inches of rain we got in 200 basements flooded in Adrian. Mine was one of them. And the sewer lines are not separate. The storm water and the sewer waters on Canterbury, so I was told then, are run together. There's a 20-inch main in front of my house that carries both rain and sewer water. Are you going to upgrade is the contractors, the college going to have to upgrade any of that so that all this now big bubble water going off from it, plus you got 60 parking spots going to be paved for this facility. Again, where's that rainwater going? Is it coming over Renfrew, down Canterbury? It just is. So is any infrastructure below ground being upgraded to handle the massive size of this building and how it will affect things like rainwater? Just a concern. Thank you.
Anyone else? There are no other public comments. Any other business to come before us? And entertain a motion for adjournment. All those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.